What's going on, sTTerrell? It's your boy sTTerrell, the sTClan captain, and we're here with another video, another banger, another informational video from my producers. Okay, so this video is how I balance school, life, and producing. Right, all of those things in general. Right, so let's start off with school. Right, if any of y'all producers are in school or anybody in school, number one thing, make sure you can do your work ahead of time. I've been doing that since like high school, maybe even middle school, right? And why did I do that? Because I knew what it meant. I knew that if I was doing my work ahead of time, that left me time to do everything else I needed to do, right? While still not sacrificing the surface level thing that I need to do, which was my work, right? Chat, let's be real here. Let's talk about degrees real quick, right? I have my associate's degree. I'm 22 years old. I will have my bachelor's by the time I'm 23 years old. Could have had it at like 21, 20, but I slipped up a little bit, right? But I'm gonna just say this, okay? I'm gonna just say this. You have to be willing to do the work, right? I'm gonna also say this. During COVID, I think it was like 2020, that's when school and everything around that kind of switched for me, right? I was used to the in-person, in class, right? And it's pretty fun like that, but I'm gonna be honest, chat, during that time, I had an epiphany in my head. I'd be sitting right there in the middle of class, and I'm just like, man, we're wasting time. We're wasting time, right? And no offense to the teachers or whatever, maybe they had to carry it out in that way, but I noticed from being in class to when it was COVID, when everyone had to be online and take their classes online, check, I was flying through my work and getting and still getting my grades, right? So I'll be honest, chat, I have not taken an in-person class since, right? So some of y'all might feel a little different, right? Some of y'all might be like, oh, I want to network at school. They still have events and stuff. You can still go to stuff like that, right? And this video isn't me advocating for taking online classes, but as the title says, how I balance school, life, and producing. I mean, we're on the school part right now, you know? So I'm gonna relay that to you. But like I said, that's really it, man. You know, after that part, started taking online classes just because simply it saved me a lot of time, right? I've been editing, I've been making videos, I've been dealing with social media, right? Really before I was producing, right? So I've always like could use the extra time, right? And obviously me, I had me a little period at the end of high school as like a senior, right? Probably for like a month or two where I started to not care about classes anymore. I started to feel like an outcast in a sense, right? Even though I wasn't one, you know, I wasn't really one, you know, but I was going through a phase. I was definitely going through a phase like toward the end of high school and a little bit after that. But Chad, for as far as the school part, plan, take your notes. Your notes are very important, right? I went to an early college, right? Everyone up in there was a nerd. Everyone, right? Whether it was obvious or whether it was not obvious. Some people you could see it, some people you wouldn't find that until after a conversation or after a prolonged period of time, you know? So number one thing is accountability. If you do not hold yourself accountable, none of this will work and everything will fall through. That's the first thing. You have to be accountable for yourself. You shouldn't have to have someone else or other persons holding you accountable or making sure that you're doing what you need to do. Right, especially as a man. And what does school mean? What does school mean? Before I even say, what does school mean to you? What does a degree mean to you? Because I can tell you what it means to me, you know. And this is what a degree means to me, right? An associate's, right? I've had an associate's for about 2 years now. Haven't saw much of a difference. Maybe it's a little bit easier for you to get hired, right? Some jobs do require like at least an associate, but you're not making like solid money, right? Until we're in that bachelor's territory, right? A lot of people that go to trade school and stuff like that, right? A lot of them make similar amounts to someone of a bachelor's, right? And you would be able to get that trade quicker, but a lot of these trade jobs, they're getting filled up as well, you know? So that's another thing to keep in mind, right? But a degree to me means, you know, really kind of talking about the bachelor's here, because like I said, the associates is cool. You can definitely find some opportunity with that, but the opportunity won't really just be like at your door like that until you get the bachelor's, right? And what does that mean, right? You might have this position at a company that's going to pay you 80,000, 85 to 100,000 a year, right? But you either got to spend 5, 6, 8, 10 years of your life to even think about getting in that position, right? Literally, or you have this bachelor's, right? And okay, you got the schooling, right? You paid the ticket, or whatever for the schooling, right? You got it done, right? And then it's like, okay, now we have a valuable employee, and now we're a lot more comfortable giving this person this amount of money, this salary, right? 'Cause when you're making like 60, 80, you're not really getting the hour no more. It's salary. But that's what a degree means to me. It means you will have a decent quality of life. Not, oh, do what your parents said, oh, give back to society, chat. No, it means you'll have a decent quality of life. Before you can help anyone else out, you have to help yourself first. Real talk. Real talk, boy. But like I said, boy, we 10 minutes in, boy. I done spoke about school too long, boy. Alright. Producing, right? So, like I said, a lot of stuff really does fall back to how you organize your time, right? So, a lot of producers that like to use loops, there's nothing wrong with loops, right? But half the time you don't own it. you don't own it, man. So it's like if it went up, you're gonna have to talk to someone. With me, I ain't trying to talk at all. Boy, let me I ain't gonna lie, Chan. Like, I make most of my stuff from scratch. Like 90, 98, 75%. I have sample tracks, yes. I could sample right now. But check, do I prefer to sample? No. And when I use samples, hold on. And when I use samples, chat, a lot of the time it is for recognition purposes, right? For someone to get a familiar feeling. That is valuable in music. If you have the ability to produce music that reminds people of like a trend or a time, certain place, that you can consistently do that accurately, it's very valuable, especially in tight beats. I'm gonna give y'all one example, bro. I be giving too much game on these videos, bro. I be giving too much game, bro. It's not even funny, bro. This is actually kind of funny. I'll tell y'all a little story real quick. So I remember one time, me and my dad, we was talking about music, right? It kind of had me this period of time where I was asking everyone like their top 3, top 5 favorite songs. Just cause I just wanted to see like kind of where their soul was. You know what I mean? Like I guess, right? Me being interested in music, I wanted to kind of just hear, the instruments, just take what I can take from it, right? So, like I said, I was talking to my dad. One of those, I don't even remember the dang song, man. It's in my text, but if y'all know about 50 Cent, his label, G-Unit, right? So I was bumping G-Unit for a minute, right? And they were probably making songs like a good 15, 20 years ago, something like that, right? They're not this new group, so to speak, right? But, and yeah, like I said, it's 50 Cent's label, if some of y'all didn't know. But, yeah, I'll be seeing type beats with G-Unit, and, they'll get some, that's a pretty niche sound. Like I said, 15, 20 years ago, right? Like, even like old school Dirt, that's another one I saw. What else? Even like with me, like I make dark drill beats, hard drill beats. So, it really depends on where your sound is. You kind of want to fall in line with like a sound that's kind of natural to you too, but you also want to make sure there's a demand for it, my mama, she used to play the keyboard. She went to a gifted high school down in Queens called Bayside. To get in that school, you had to have excellent grades. Like, I think you had to have like a 3.0, 3.5 GPA. Not only that, but like I said, my mom, she could play the keyboard and she could sing. My mom, very talented woman, right? And sometimes, I love her with all my heart, man. Sometimes it really does break my heart because she almost didn't do anything with all her God-given gifts, you know, and it hurts me so much. And that's part of why I go so hard what I'm doing, because that will not be me. Now, my mom, she's an outstanding woman. She didn't need to like be famous or like have all these deals, even though my mom is a published poet, you know. She is a published poet. She does have tracks out. You feel me? I'm not gonna say too much. Like my mom is still an amazing woman. Amazing woman. Across the board. Like I think she has like a doctorate now too. If she doesn't have a doctorate, the school just holding her, right? She at least has enough credits for her to get that. But yeah, bro. Like I said, shout out to mama, man. Now we're gonna go to the life part. Relationships. I'm talking to my young men. Women, if you're listening, that's cool too. Okay? I'm talking to my men right here. Okay? So first thing that will get in the way, leeching friends. We're gonna start off with that. Leeching friends. Okay? Chad, when you're dealing with these people, right? I'll describe it to you. When you hear from these people, it'll be when they need something. 9 times out of 10, right? Interactions probably pretty short, right? And it don't mean that like people be living their lives, so that's not like a for sure thing, right? But if it's always short and hey, I need this real quick or whatever, that's like a telltale sign of a leech. Okay? Or maybe you tell somebody about something that you're passionate about, that you love doing. It could be something that you've done for years. They don't know a thing about it. You're sharing it with them, right? Just because you're excited or whatever. And they might talk down on it or like try to downplay it. You know what I mean? And Chad, when stuff like that happen, bro, you just keep it pushing. you keep it pushing, Chad, because it's like, bro, why are you trying to downplay it? You're like, you don't even know like a fraction about what I'm talking about. But it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, it be stuff like that too, bro. But you gotta be chilling, bro. You feel me? Cause you know why you do what you do. You know why you passionate. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be like, forget all that. You feel me? People like that will drain your energy. And forget all that. The people that you choose to entertain, that's one of the few things that you have control over in this life, shit. Majority of your life, a lot of your life, you don't have control over. You can influence things. You can set things up for the future that you will not see for, you know, some time. You know, you can build up your actions to get to that point. But Chad, a lot of things you really do not have all that much control over, you know? That's why I go so hard, bro, because you could be in a horrible position. You could be like, man, like, but if you just keep pushing it, you going hard every day, that's all you do, and the only thing you worried about is making your situation better and making sure everything, it don't matter. If you going hard every day, maybe you won't see results for a little minute, but you gonna see them. You gonna see them. Hey, the Bible says you don't work, you don't eat. You feel me? So, hey, that's true. It's true. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that's a life, bro. Second little micro section of this part right here, right? The ladies. Hey, y'all already know what I'm about to say, boy. I ain't gonna lie. Back in high school, bro, just growing up, bro, I done seen too many folks that was on their way somewhere and they just lay down with a female, with a lady real quick, bro. Fuck dates. Fuck dates. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't no disrespect. Like, the people that do that, like, if any of y'all did that, but it's like, as a man, bro, you gotta build your own empire. You feel like the way I look at relationships, I'm not even worried about a girlfriend. Would I like one? Heck yeah. Do I have some that's telling me, all right, I want to be your girlfriend or wife, all this stuff? Yeah, they be telling me that all the time. All you cute, I appreciate, but Chad, you can't let your head get blown up with that, bro. You as a man, hey, I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? But we on the mission. We on the mission, bro. Check. Women 9 times out of 10, bro, they're gonna drain your energy. They're gonna drain your pockets, and you're not.